Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my studio. This is Paint with Lovejoy. Thanks so much for joining me. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to the channel and check out the other videos. And if you're here for a second, third, or fourth time, thank you so much for coming back and getting creative.
All right, guys, this is going to be a fun painting today. I'm glad you're joining in. So grab your supplies. There is no traceable for today's painting, but make sure you always take your progress photos. Very important. It's a great way to kind of gauge how much you learn, and it's a nice way to look back on your progress. So I'm reusing an old canvas for this. There is a video if you want to reuse some of your old canvases, but it's nice that you can just paint right on top of it. So we're starting with a light pink that is white with a tiny amount of red, and we're going to put a heart in the center, and this is going to be kind of our focal point, our lightest area. Then we're going to fill in this heart with a super light pink. Now you are more than welcome to change colors on here if you want to do something different. If you don't want to do a heart, you can do a circle, you could do a triangle, you can do a square, you can change the shape to be anything. But this is going to be the base shape, and then we're going to build and fill in the rest of the canvas space from this shape moving outwards towards the edges. So again, full permission to change colors. Now to go a little bit darker, we're going to add a touch more red, and I want you to go 1 or 2 shades darker than what you were just using. So it may be different than what you see on the video, and that's totally okay. And we're just going to kind of take this and build around and just keep adding darker and darker. So adding a little more red to go to a darker pink, and at any point pause the video and take your progress photos. Now, a few things to note. I am applying the paint kind of thick, so that way I can do some blending. And if you're on a stretched canvas, I do recommend kind of taking this color around the edges of the canvas. So for blending, here I'm grabbing a fresh brush and just going through and blending. You could use the brush that you are applying paint with and just wipe off the excess paint. Or you can even use your fingers and blend, but you must do this while the paint is wet. That's why it is called wet on wet blending. And depending on what type of paint that you have, the drying time on your paint will vary. So you may have to adjust your painting based on what type of paint you have, and that is totally okay. That's part of the creative process. So I kind of did one half of the background, and then now I'm doing the other half. And if you have fast drying paint, you might need to do that for yours. If your paint's not drying as fast, you might be able to do the whole thing and blend all at once. So again, adjust for what you might need for your painting and with the tools that you have. So again, we're doing that light in the center, and it just gets a little bit darker as it reaches the edge of the canvas. Then we can kind of go back in, adding a little bit more paint to my plate, but you can go back in and just kind of play with that. And I am using a smaller brush, and I'm going to throw some white in there. And I want you to notice how the white looks different on different shades. Right now on that really light pink, it's kind of hard to tell where I placed it, but when I start putting it on other darker areas, you'll be able to see it. And I'm going to be going with kind of short, choppy brush strokes just to kind of enhance the shape of the heart and do a little bit of blending. But again, your call, how much texture, how much paint, exactly what you want to do with this. This is just a guideline to kind of give you a base starting point, but you can do more or you can do less than what I do on the video. The important thing is to just paint and have fun and step away from your life for a little bit and get creative. So here I'm adding a little bit of purple, goes a little bit darker. You don't have to introduce another color unless you want to. If you want to throw some blue in there, if you want to throw another color, anything that you might want to do. And here's the part where I was talking about I'm just doing choppy little brush strokes of various colors, almost kind of like a Van Gogh or a Monet vibe. Just with moving the brush in the direction to enhance that heart shape or whatever shape that you may have chosen. And then again, also playing with just what the colors look like, how that white looks different next to the darker red compared to the lighter pink. And same if you're using red, how it looks different on the lighter compared to the darker. And as you paint, you are strengthening your power of observation. You're learning what colors look like next to each other. You're learning what you like. You're learning the pressure of the brush. You're doing a great job. So on this one, I had a bit of some video edit issues. So you can practice this on a sheet of paper like I'm doing here, but I'm going to go ahead and do the design, and then it'll edit back to the painting just because I lost that part of the video. But I'm using the medium or large flat brush, and we're putting our branch on there first. And then you can fill in the branch, and I'm going to go through the whole process on this sheet. So you can do this on a practice sheet if you want to practice, or let your background fully dry, and then you'll jump right into doing this on top of your background. So we're doing that main branch first, and then some of the branches that shoot off of it later. And then we'll be doing the shapes of the birds and the letters. So again, great practice if you want to do this. Play with the pressure of your brush. Light pressure creates a skinnier line. A little bit more pressure creates a bit of a wider line. And if you need to switch brushes, if you want to use the small pointy brush like I'm switching to right now, feel free to switch out brushes. Now for these birds, we're going to do the outline of the body, the head, and then we're going to put the letters in there. And I like to start in the center and then do the birds on either side, so that way they're spaced out a little bit easier. Now, if you want to switch the word, just put the amount of birds on there for each letter, and you may have to make them smaller or bigger. But the word on here will be love, and we've got the body of the bird, which is kind of like a oval. Some of them have a tail. Then we'll be putting a circle for the head on there, and then we'll be going in with block letters on the inside. So play with light pressure, rest your forearm against the edge of the table to kind of help steady your hand. And then just keep playing with light pressure. If you need to turn the canvas sideways, upside down, because it makes it a little bit easier, go right ahead and do that. I leave mine in the same orientation just because I'm filming the video for you guys. But change and adjust for what you need during your creative efforts and experiences. All right, so it's going to flip over back to the painting. I'm going to go back and redo those letters. So again, you can practice on a sheet of paper, which I highly recommend and think is great, or you can let your background dry and jump right into and follow that last section of the video. All right, so just redoing those letters again, those block letters. And like I said earlier, if you want to switch it out, if you want to put your name in here, if you want to put a different word, go right ahead. If you need to double up the letters, maybe put 2 letters in one bird, feel free to adjust to make this something that is uniquely yours. And then definitely send me pictures. I love seeing what you guys do. Email them, paintwithlovejoy@gmail.com, or send them to my social media, Instagram or YouTube, paintwithlovejoy.com, or hashtag paintwithlovejoy. All right, and then once you've got the letters on there, then we will be filling this in with the black paint, and you might want to move up to the bigger brush for that. And as you're doing this, if you happen to go over the perimeter of the word or the bird, just kind of embrace it and adjust and kind of change the bird or the letter to what you might need. You can take a paper towel and wipe something off if you need to remove it. Always options. And we'll add some beaks, and they'll just be a little triangle. There we go. Or a little line. Works nicely with that middle-sized brush. And like any of my paintings, if there's other things that you want to add, other birds in the background or a building or somebody's name, feel free to adjust and add what you want. All right, and also take notice, every couple of brush strokes, I'm going back and grabbing more paint. You do want this to be nice and thick. If you prefer to do each of your birds in a different color, purple, red, yellow, feel free to do that as well. I really like giving you guys a lot of opportunity to just get creative and use this as a baseline guideline, but to kind of just make it your own. I've had quite a few very creative paintings and pictures that my students have sent me, so it makes me happy. All right, and just a little bit of art stuff. What you're looking at, the negative space is the words, and then the positive space is the birds. So it's kind of nice that that negative space lets the background shine through and gives us that nice contrast. All right, so anything that you might want to add, I did put birds in the sky up there. Go for it. Thank you guys so much for getting creative, taking time out of your day. Please find creative outlets in your life as often as possible. Until next time, cheers.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the process of painting and I hope you are happy with how your paintings turned out. I'm really proud of you for getting creative. As you're uploading these to social media, please tag me at or hashtag paintwithlovejoy or email me your pictures paintwithlovejoy@gmail.com. I really enjoy seeing them. I try to post them on social media to encourage other beginner painters to try the process of painting. But please share this with your community as well. Anybody who is kind of scared to paint, share your experience with them and let them know kind of how much you benefited from it and how much you enjoyed the process. So kind of share the fun. With that being said, if you have any comments, questions, feedback, things that you want me to paint in the future, please leave a comment. I try to respond to everybody as quickly as I can. And any of the future suggestions for paintings, I add that to my production list and get to them as quickly as I can. So in the meantime, please keep getting creative. Let me know how you're doing. And until next time, cheers.